I remember the day I met Alex like it was etched into the back of my eyelids. It was freshman year at college, in that overcrowded lecture hall for Intro to Literature. He sat 2 rows ahead, his dark hair tousled like he'd just rolled out of bed, scribbling notes with a fervor that made me smile. I was the quiet girl in the back, nursing a coffee and dreams of becoming a writer. Our first conversation happened by accident. He dropped his pen, it rolled under my seat, and when he turned to retrieve it, his eyes met mine, green like forest leaves after rain. "Thanks," he said, grinning. That was it. The spark. For 10 years, that spark flickered but never ignited into flame. We became friends, the kind who shared late-night study sessions that turned into confessions about our fears and hopes. I'd listen to him talk about his family, how his dad left when he was young, leaving him to piece together what love looked like from scraps. I'd nod, my heart aching because I wanted to be the one to show him. But I never said it. Why? Fear, I suppose. The quiet kind that whispers, "What if you ruin this?" So I stayed silent, loving him in the shadows of our friendship. Year 1, we explored the city together. Picnics in the park where he'd read poetry aloud, his voice wrapping around words like eternal and heart. I'd laugh when he mispronounced something, and he'd toss grass at me. Once, under a summer storm, we ran for cover, drenched and breathless. He pulled me close to share his jacket, his arm around my shoulders. My pulse raced. That was a chance. Lean in, whisper the truth. But the rain stopped and so did I. Year 2. Graduation loomed, but we clung to campus life. He dated sporadically, girls who were loud and vibrant, everything I wasn't. I'd hear about them over coffee, smiling through the sting. "She's great," he'd say, and I'd agree, because what else could I do? One night, after a breakup, he showed up at my door with pizza and tears in his eyes. We talked until dawn, his head on my lap as I stroked his hair. "You're the best, Lena," he murmured. Missed chance number 2. Tell him he's everything to me. Instead, I said, "You'll find someone amazing." Years 3 through 5 blurred into post-college haze. Jobs, apartments, life pulling us in directions. He moved to the city for a graphic design gig. I stayed in our college town teaching English at a high school. We'd text daily. Memes, book recommendations, complaints about adulting. Visits were sacred. Weekends where we'd cook terrible meals and watch old movies. On one trip, we hiked a trail at sunset. He stopped at the peak, wind tousling his hair, and said, "This is what peace feels like." I looked at him, the golden light painting his face, and thought, "You are my peace." But words failed me again. Quiet heartbreak settled in, a companion I grew used to. By year 6, he was thriving. Promotions, a nicer apartment. I visited more, hiding my growing ache behind enthusiasm. He introduced me to friends as my rock, and they'd tease us about being soulmates. We'd laugh it off, but inside it twisted. One evening, wine-fueled, he confessed he'd always wondered about us. "What if?" he said, eyes searching mine. My heart hammered. This was it, the moment. But doubt whispered, "He's tipsy, it's not real." I changed the subject. Mischance etched in regret. Year 7. I dated too, trying to fill the void. Mark was kind, stable, but every kiss felt like betrayal. Alex met him once, clapped him on the back, said, "Treat her right." The jealousy in his voice. I imagined it. When Mark proposed after a year, I said no. It wasn't fair to him or me. Alex was there for the fallout, holding me as I cried. "You deserve the world," he said. Ernie sharp as a blade. Years 8 and 9. Distance crept in, not physical but emotional. He traveled for work, met new people. Texts grew sporadic, but when we reconnected, it was like no time passed. A reunion trip to our old campus. Nostalgia, laughter, a quiet dinner where he shared he'd been thinking about settling down. "I want what my parents never had," he said. My throat tightened. "Tell him now, Lena." But I smiled. "You'll make a great husband." Inside, pieces shattered quietly. Then year 10. The call came on a Tuesday. Lena, I met someone. Her name was Sarah. Colleague, bright-eyed, ambitious. She's incredible, he gushed. I listened, voice steady, heart fracturing. Months blurred. Double dates where I'd force smiles, watching them hold hands. She was perfect for him, outgoing, adventurous. Everything I wished I could be. The engagement announcement hit like a whisper, not a storm. A photo on social media. Him on one knee, her beaming. Friends congratulated, I liked the post. Quiet heartbreak deepened, an ache that woke me at night. Why hadn't I spoken? Fear of loss, but I'd lost anyway. The wedding invitation arrived. Elegant script on cream paper. Join us, it said. I debated not going, but love, even unrequited, demanded presence. The day dawned sunny, a church in the hills. I dressed in blue, something borrowed from hope. Seeing him at the altar, handsome in his suit, waiting for her. It was a dagger, slow and precise. The ceremony. Vows exchanged, rings slipped on. I sat in the back, tears silent. Mischances replayed, the picnic, the hike, the wine night. 10 years of almost. As they kissed, applause rose, and something in me broke free. Not in anguish but release. At the reception, he found me nursing champagne. Lena, you okay? His concern genuine. I hugged him, whispered, I'm so happy for you. And I was, in a way. He deserved joy. Dancing later. He pulled me onto the floor for old time's sake. You've been my constant, he said. I smiled. Always will be. No confessions now. The ship had sailed. Driving home, stars above, I let tears fall. 10 years of love, unreturned but real. It shaped me. Taught resilience, the beauty in quiet devotion. Heartbreak wasn't loud. It was the echo of what could have been. Months later, life moved on. I wrote my first novel, pouring our story into fiction, changing names, adding a happier end. It sold modestly, but the catharsis was priceless. Alex and Sarah sent congratulations. We stayed friends, distantly. Bittersweet. I loved him enough to let go. In quiet moments, I wonder about paths not taken. But I found peace in the loving, not the having. Perhaps that's the truest love. Selfless, enduring. 10 years, a lifetime in heartbeats. And now I turn the page.